You're seeing a pull away, and primarily people, I would say, anywhere ranging from 40 to 50 and under, and then drastically, especially under 30, because these are the people that are getting hit the hardest, and they're saying, we're never going to get to be able to buy a house. And it's not just interest rates are the reasons, it's the cost of housing. I am fighting in Washington, D.C. to affect the policies and the direction of the Republican Party, because I want it to serve my kids' generation. And I think that's the right thing that we should be doing.
Wow. Trump right now trending for all the wrong reasons. Again, he's going to deny aid to Americans if they decide they want to boycott Israel. How is that not treason? He is going to deny Americans in need disaster funding if he finds out that that city or state that is in need is boycotting Israel. You might say, actually, morally, we think it is wrong for us to in any way engage with Israel because we are watching them starve children daily. That's your right as an American. Now, all of a sudden, Trump is taking the position, the extraordinary position, that actually it's not your right to do that when it comes to Israel. Of course, you could, if you want today, boycott American companies. But Israel, they're saying you can't do that. Why is that? Because America is not a sovereign nation. And if you are under any illusions that America is a sovereign nation, you need to wake up.
Powerful opening. That's what they say. Welcome, everybody, to Real Deal Media's original series, The Lounge. It is back. Yes, it is. I'm your lounge master, Dean Ryan. And tonight we have a hell of a show. I'm sweating profusely just because I feel like it. And that's the type of show it is here tonight. Tonight's episode for The Lounge, which is, if you're new, this is a one-off show that is done primarily to focus and hone in on some of the most controversial subjects known to man. And we have certainly been known to tackle those over the years without a flinch, if I might add. But tonight is no different. It is going to be a spectacle for the history books, as tonight is Who's Playing Donald Trump? Who's Playing Donald Trump? And it's a double entendre, isn't it? It's who's playing him physically as the mass bandit era is creeping back in, but it's also who's playing him. You get that? Yeah, that's right. And those grievances that you heard in the cold intro there from Marjorie Green Taylor and Candace Owens is something that's being echoed by more Americans today than ever before in our history. And this is just going to be great. So a lot of weird anomalies are happening, and you name it, you've seen it. A lot of people don't want to say anything. They thought it was just the last administration, but I'm not one of those people. I don't go along to get along, and I don't care what Winston Churchill said. I will never grin and bear it. And someone else who is definitely not a grin and bearer, but certainly loves bear claws, that's the one and only Jim Fetzer. Jim, thank you for being here tonight. It's Here we are with The Lounge, one of our most celebrated series of all time, and another controversial topic here tonight that's going to electrify people's minds, isn't it?
And Dean, you began with two of my favorite women on planet Earth, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens. They are sensational.
That's right, Jim.
Choice. Great start. Love the opening.
Well, Jim, what can I say? I know your type, if you know what I'm saying. But tonight is, we're going to get into the thick of it of who's playing Donald Trump. As you can see there, the symbology in the non-AI'd covered, handmade cover, that is. Everything, Jim, before we get into everything, I can name where I felt things were going awry, but when was it for you, Jim, that you saw the Donald Trump kind of going awry, like something really isn't right? When was that moment for you?
Well, I think it was early into the second administration when he began violating his campaign promises. Instead of ending the stupid wars, he was supporting them. Instead of not creating new ones, he was bombing Iran. I think the scales fell from my eyes pretty early on, Dean. And it was over supporting genocide in Israel on the one hand and the ongoing feudal war against Russia on the other. That pretty much told me this wasn't the guy we thought we'd voted for.
Sure. And as you saw there, you saw the MTG and you saw the Candace Owens, who have been unwavering supporters of the MAGA everything. Even Marjorie's, huge supporter. And just today, I believe it was, she announced that she's now thinking about leaving the Republican Party. And Jim, I think a lot of people are thinking about leaving the Republican Party. When you have Father of the Year going in there as the Speaker of the House and just giving the carte blanche blank check to Ukraine and the Israelites. I mean, we have a problem, to quote Dr. Phil there. So, but this time, we've narrowed it down, everybody. We're going to take you on a journey now across some of the doubles and everything. We've done this before, but this time we're going to hit home. It's sacred territory. Everyone's invested in Trump. It's an emotional character. I'm with you too, but you're going to enjoy this journey tonight, and you're going to have some clarity of truly who the puppeteers are behind the scene. Are you ready, Jim?
I'm bracing myself, Dean. Go for it.
Good, because we might want to both wear depends on this one here tonight. Okay, so we're going to start now. Beginner's course here, everyone. Speaking of drilling, there's not going to be no baby drill is not going to happen. But let me tell you about this now. We're going to now go through this here as before all my devices get turned off here. See, the powers that be don't want me doing this here tonight. Can you sense that? Well, let me tell you about this now. Look at what we have here. So now we're going to get into something is awry. Well, here it is. Donald Trump's appearance in Europe sparks body double conspiracy theory. Body double conspiracy theory. I didn't even know there's such a thing, or did I? Well, they're saying after Donald Trump's appearance as far back as early June, when he was with the leaders of Turkey, NATO, you name it, all out there, we noticed something was different. But after Donald Trump's appearance over there at The Hague in the Netherlands just a month ago, the president was accused of using body doubles to represent him alongside fellow NATO leaders, which, by the way, I call that body double shaming. They shouldn't be shaming the body doubles. Leave them out of it. They're innocent. They have nothing to do with this. Well, a lot of people said that it's not Trump, suggested a critic. It shook hands with a prominent world leaders. That's definitely not him. What am I talking about, you might ask? Well, look at this here. Who recalls this? Well, here you have the security expert addresses Trump's body doubles theory after people spot unusual detail during NATO's appearance. Well, so there's Erdogan on the left, there's the woman from ABBA on the right, and there's the Fonz in the middle. Look how tiny he is. so tiny, I can't even help myself. Jim, you want to comment on this? We do have, I believe, a video to go with this, but do you see the difference of what we're talking about here, Jim?
Well, Trump was 6'3", and he most certainly doesn't look that tall here. He's standing next to Erdogan. They're about the same height. I'm going to guess Erdogan might be 5'11", probably not more. But if Erdogan turned out to be 6'3", and that might not be such a disturbing comparison.
That's true. That's true. That's not a disturbing conspiracy comparison. We'll have another look here because now it goes even further. Look at that. That looks like El Ranchito Donald Trump. That's right. That's the very Spaniard-looking Donald Trump with the brown eyes and the loco moco skin, like he just got done coming down a mountain with a burro trying to give us coffee. Yeah, that doesn't look like the Trump. Remember, that's the short Trump. And might I add too, Jim, is that this is the same Trump that we saw at his daughter's wedding, Tiffany. In fact, here's some video that should have went along with this. Here it is. They're lining up. It's the crumb. Excellent inspection. It's the funds. Yes, the funds. Donald Rumsey. One happy day. Yes. Kathy, you've heard me. Tony Orlando. Okay, so you can see that it just looks a little different. It looks a little different, if you ask me. I think we all can agree on that. But to Jim's point, recently, Trump went to Scotland. Well, he went to Scotland to look at his heritage and probably get more golf courses. Well, look at this, to Jim's point here. Well, here we have an actual measurement. So 6'5" and all that. So if you open your eyes there, do the math. Don Jr. is 6'1". Eric is 6'5". Trump is listed as 6'3", a very frumpy one. The picture of President Donald Trump is standing next to Eric, and there is no way that there is only 2 inches of difference between the two of them. Let alone Donald Jr. standing off to the left is supposed to be shorter than President Trump. But in the picture, he is 2 to 3 inches taller.
Good.
This person believes that Trump was involved in the meetings, meetings because the height was correct. But we have to remember that we are still at war with deep states. I believe President Trump is protected by the central casting. Okay, so that's one theorem to it. Jim, do you want to comment on that? Does that look correct to you?
Oh, I think those comparisons are good. Yeah, that's what we need. This kind of data. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's a scientific measurement, as you can plainly see there. Now, our next one here, you're going to see something that is now further evidence. Let me tell you about this one here. Here you go. Well, here you see a royal blue Trump who's now short again. He's like a mood ring. But in this case, social media users showed their support, but also noticed some things were a little different. They've noticed that here he was with some of the EU leaders over there and suggested Trump looked unrecognizable because he stood next to leaders who were much taller than he is. And people just haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, there's a much older Trump. I call this one the Tony Bennett Trump. He looks distinguished, older. The suit is, it's a very tacky blue suit, but so yeah, that's a very different Trump, almost very different than what we saw in the previous slide, Jim, with all the other leaders. Would you agree to that, or is that the same?
I'm inclined to think, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so here we have the Fonzie Trump is still continuing. Now we have what you see here. Here you have Marco Rubio, who is having a moment to himself. And then you also have another unusual looking, much younger, much tanner Donald Trump. Trump's administration, they're saying, is using a fake stand-in for president. Many people have chirped. Even his wife, Melania Trump, has been accused on several occasions of using body doubles. Now, Jim, before we continue here, to get to Melania, I mean, yeah, so here's a much youthful looking Donald Trump. The older
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Trump is gone. Now you have a like a late 40s, early 50s Donald Trump. Yeah. So he looks much more youthful. Okay. But Jim, what do we know about Melania? I've never asked you. Do we feel? I mean, she's always been covered up this whole Trump 2.0 administration. She wore the hat at the inauguration. Yeah. She looked like Zorro. Yeah. She's always in huge, thick glasses. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think some of these occasions they definitely have a stand-in that she did not want to attend. She didn't want to be bothered, and they've dressed someone up to resemble her who was not her, but because of the hat, the glasses, and so forth, who could tell? I think that's correct. That's correct.
Good point. And before I forget, here's the Lee Majors looking Donald Trump. So, and to add, here's a video that goes with it.
But Europe has a big immigration problem. They also liked when I said that they have one of the worst mayors anywhere in the world in London. He's a horrible mayor, nasty guy, stupid guy in my opinion, but he's a nasty man, and I want nothing to do with him. But I didn't think it was a big statement, and so many people said thank you for saying that. He's a bad guy. Khan is his name, I guess. He's done a lousy job, I can tell you that. A terrible.
Look at the teeth.
No, but people liked it so much when I said that.
So if you looked in that video, the teeth were vastly different. I couldn't pause it. I didn't have the opportunity to, but here's another look at it. Yeah, vastly different teeth now than the guy we saw. And this guy is vastly different. Look, you can get a tan, even a spray on tan, but it doesn't disappear that fast. You know what I mean? So now continuing on here. Well, now let's get into Melania, something I've been waiting to do for quite some time. She's been accused of using body doubles all the way back as Pope Francis's funeral. Even there, that's another Donald Trump lookalike. I'm not sure that even looks like Melania. It's very confusing.
It does not look like Melania to me, Dean.
Yeah, I don't think it does either, Jim. Let's see what it's all about here, because she was accused of using body doubles. It's not crazy to think. Many people said her smile almost seems compensatory, as Trump's facial expression is rather solemn. In this one right here, this was from the March, if you recall. We covered that live for you.
That's the real deal there.
Yeah, so her smile seems compensatory. They're saying he graciously and gallantly motions for her to walk in first. Melania looked very subdued, as might I add, Donald Trump has seemed very subdued to me since 2022. Just my observation.
Was this supposed to be another body double, Dean? Because she looks pretty good to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. The litmus test is as long as they look good, and we'll we'll buy it. Okay, so then it says now, when Melania and Donald attended the dead Pope's funeral just last April, if you recall, conspiracy realists reignited the claim that the First Lady used body doubles. They did. I didn't really pay any attention to it, Jim, but here's what I noticed. Okay, here's what I noticed, because I'm a real observer. I think that she was pregnant. Something's going on here. Or at least the body double is. Do you see it, Jim?
Yeah.
This was from, I want to say May going into June here. See, again, she's covered up, just like we saw Hillary was covered up when they were using her doubles in 2016. They're using the thick glasses. They're using the CIA, mask. But the weird baby bump is very bizarre. And furthermore, here's the even better example of it. Look at how in the world does she have a baby bump?
Definitely.
And look at Trump's baby bump too. They both got baby bumps. There you have it.
Third or fourth month, maybe.
So we don't have the test results yet to see who the father is, but word on the street is it could be Justin Trudeau. And boy, that would be a terrible fight. Now, here's from the Real Deal observation as we get into Jim's flurry of things he discovered. Well, get this one here. I saw this. This was the night that he announced that he bombed Iran. If you recall, he did the State of the Union or a speech to the nation, whatever. And he had the three guys behind him. Well, here's what we noticed. Look at this. Well, there it is. CGI Trump. Now, you have to remember, Forsetti, our EU correspondent, told us over a year ago, everybody, that the next thing to look for is CGI in all of your leaders. And voila, here we go. Same night, same hour, same channel. Different teeth. Drastically different teeth. Drastically different teeth.
They're kind of hidden by the microphone there, but...
Oh, Jim,
you could well be right, yeah.
Yeah, the one on the right are like veneers. Let's just say the one on the right, that guy can bob for apples, I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay, the left, not so good, yeah.
Yeah, the left is very Austin Powers. Okay, so that's that one. And here is the next one. Well, look at what we have here. What did J.D. Vance see? Why did he have such a stink face? What did he know, Jim? What did he know?
I don't know, but I think Trump is taller than Vance. How tall is J.D. Vance? Let me check that out.
5'10".
You're kidding me.
And what I also noticed was just he was just very going with the flow, going with the motions. And look at the eyes too, if you can. Look at Donald Trump's eyes. What color are those? Because he has blue eyes. Are those blue? Does anyone know?
No, it says Vance is 6'2".
Okay.
You got Vance at 6'2". So Trump there looks like he's 6'1". That would be like the guy we had in Europe, you know, or the earlier one, 6'1". One of these guys appears to be 6'1".
So there you have, but clearly the fix was in. They knew CGI was being used. I doubt they were even the White House. J.D. Vance knows something was going on. I mean, Jim, it's so bad. I even have to question Ivanka, the daughter, who I have questioned whether the validity of these children really came from that rat feces called Jared Kushner. Well, here it is, just to look for another appraisal there. Well, we beg the question here. Real kids, Real Deal Media, Real Deal Report asks, real kids? Well, Jim, I don't know. Jared Kushner he's a man of 1,000 different faces, I guess, and rat tails to go with it.
Is Ivanka old enough to have kids this age? I was unaware she had any kids.
Jim, they don't even look like her, okay? And Jared Kushner he's a pansy. He's a pansy, and he's all about taking control of the gods.
The Obamas have borrowed kids. I mean, those are not theirs because two men cannot have children.
Right. Okay. So there you have it. And yeah, the yarmulkes were CGI'd. And here's a final picture here of now. Here's Grandpa Trump. Which Trump is this? Look at this one. Here's the Lee Majors Trump, or is that the? It just looks so different. It's so different. Okay, that it's very awkward too. I'm as awkward looking at it. Okay, so there's that one, and then finally here, we notice something is different, Jim. We're beginning to notice things are different. A lot of people are saying they didn't vote for X, Y, and Z, right? Well, now people are asking, was there another coup d'état in the White House again? That's crazy. Well, here's what Benjamin Fulford has to say about it.
Going to disturb a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure that there's been another coup in Washington, D.C., and that the Donald Trump from, the tall one with Melania is back at the Space Force base in Greenland, and we have an obvious fake in the White House. Now, I put out the photograph showing that this Trump we're seeing is shorter than the real one, the one who appeared at the NATO meeting. They've even trotted out an obviously fake Melania, but it's his actions and words that make it very clear that he is basically, according to the evidence I have, he's working for Jean-Michel de Rothschild, whoever is pretending to be Trump right now in the White House. Now, some evidence for this is that on July 2nd, President Macron of France, who is basically a spokesperson for Jean-Michel de Rothschild, had the first phone call with Vladimir Putin since 2022. And when he was asked, this was on July 2nd, when he was asked why they had this phone call now, he said it's because there's been a new regime in Washington.
Jim, that's very interesting. Even Putin seems to know things are different. And just in case you don't know, I did the effort of looking up who this is. Jean-Michel de Rothschild. That's clearly not him on the right, but we couldn't find his picture. He's a Rothschild that is not widely recognized figure in the Rothschild family, which is more commonly associated with prominent members like Mayor Ashmel Rothschild and his descendants involved in banking and finance. Family has a rich history of industry. Jim, you want to comment on that of a potential coup d'etat, according to Benjamin Fulford, because it sure feels like that.
Well, the guy doesn't seem to be the same. I certainly agree with that, Dean. And he gave us a lot of promises about ending the stupid wars and all that, and his actions have been completely different, as I've explained before. I think now there are enough physical differences to make it a legitimate question. I think it's a serious and legitimate question. And whether what we've seen already is sufficient to establish is no one question, but I do think there's plenty of room here to investigate and sort it out. This oughtn't to be all that difficult. I've done it with Biden. I've done it with Hillary and her body doubles. I've done it with Michelle. There's a lot of material to work with here, Dean. So I feel comfortable that we can get to the bottom of it.
We will, and definitely your presentation that's coming up is really going to make a real dent into it all. But, before we slide into a little moment of a break here, I just put this together. People said people change. Kash Patel changed. You noticed that, Jim? Tulsi changed. But people are, yes, Jim. And well, here's what I think it is. And our good friend James Martinez brought this to my attention. This is, you may remember this from 1987, the infamous moment. David Horowitz over there at the local news station in Los Angeles, was approached while live on air by a so-called CIA whistleblower who held him up at gunpoint and told him to read a following statement. In fact, rather than me trying to remember it all, here it is, just a stroll down memory lane of maybe this is exactly what's happening to the so-called leaders of the United States.
Mail order. Pardon me? What is this? Let me see what it says. All right. All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
At that point, the control room was ordered to go to black, kill the studio mics, and put up a standby slide. But Horowitz continued to read, and the gunman kept the gun in his back.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. Also my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on. I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do to me.
Police, who by then had entered the facilities, made plans to deal with the situation. But when the statement had been read, the gunman placed the gun on the desk and anchorman John Beard grabbed it. And to the floor. He has been identified as Gary Stolman, and he said he never intended to harm anyone. Indeed, the gun proved a fake. But Stolman may still face a variety of charges. He is the son of pharmacist Max Stolman, a former member of the Channel 4 News team reporting on medicine and related issues. Max Stolman said, "I do have a sick son. He has been hospitalized a number of times. I am thankful he wasn't killed."
Stunning stuff. Jim, what are your thoughts on that? Because they're making the case that the CIA, whose coup d'etat of 63, is literally just replacing people who get anywhere near positions of executive power. Is that such a feasible kind of idea at this point in time?
Well, I'm open-minded about it, Dean. I would say the evidence is not conclusive. I think when we get deeper into the Trump business, there's a case to be made. We certainly know Joe Biden appears to have died around 2017, that the guy for 4 years in the office was definitely not, had a different shape and size of skull, different signature, different manner of speaking, completely different guys. There's no doubt about that. Hillary used body doubles even in her debates, her national debates with Bernie Sanders and with Donald Trump. It was a younger, thinner, healthier, far more attractive version of Hillary that was on the national stage. It wasn't called out. I don't understand how you could have this Biden, who's obviously not the real Joe, for 4 years not be called out. It's absolutely mind-bending. Michelle being a guy like Bridget Macron, that's something that's a little more within the realm of obviously feasible. But these other major replacements, it's rather mind-bending. Yeah, there you see Bridget with a package that most women have. I find that rather compelling.
That's revolting. I don't know who would ever show that. Well, just to close it off on the CIA replacing people, which I'm like, where have I heard this before? So what you saw there earlier, that's from 1987. Now, subsequently, the following year, Jim, one of the most very loose budgeted films was released, and it was the exact same plot of everything we just saw there. And it's a film called They Live with Roddy Piper. Yes, it is. That is the exact plot that supposed whistleblowers was describing, and it came out in 1988. Now, I wish I could show the film.
Clones there, right? Clones.
Yeah. So he wound up discovering in the film. Who is the director, everybody? It's escaping me. This is terrible. John Carpenter, excuse me. And at the time, because I want to be befriending Roddy Piper later in life, he thought it was about Reaganomics, and then soon discovered it was about the New World Order. And then next thing you know, he died, sadly, unfortunately. So, but it's got to be something there. Okay, Jim, we have a break coming up. We're going to be getting into your thesis. Any hints what we can tell people what it's to expect, because it's a big one. It's a real Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, it is. I don't think most are going to be quite prepared for this, Dean.
Well, that's exactly. That's why I am double dressed here tonight, and I got health insurance. Okay, stand by there, Jim. All right, we're going to take this quick break, everybody, and regroup here. We're going to regroup to get to the second part here. This is Jim's presentation, which he has, he's a master class at it. You don't want to miss this part because it goes all the way back to the 80s and stuff we have yet to even cover. So you're watching The Lounge, an incredible show here at Real Deal Media. And we will be back after this quick message.
Goodbye.
That's right. That's right. That is Jim Kahuna, the big kahuna there, with the little kahuna. And you can get the new Tsunami Summer SALE right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do got to give you congratulations, Jim. You just won the most recent U.S. Open surfing competition again. How many trophies you got in there? Anyways, all you got to do is go to realdealmedia.tv. Yes, you do. And you can get some of the new Tsunami items. For instance, we have this one right here. You can get a collector's item of Jim surfing. Why not get your coffee brewed, but make sure you have Jim right there with you every morning. I know I do. Isn't that something? And that's his, look at that luscious hair. I must say that luscious hair. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. I don't know why he dyes his hair white. It makes no sense to me. Anyways, so yes, go to realdealmedia.tv. Also, a big thank you to everyone who has donated to Give, Send, Go. You make things happen. You are one of the reasons that we are still here. All you have to do is go to givesendgo.com as things go haywire for me. Look at that. That's not it. Go to givesendgo.com/real-deal-go. There it is right there. It's going a little haywire here tonight, Jim. I'm getting a little scared. So thank you in advance on that. And the new case coverings for phones, too, before I forget. Those are a big talk. It's original art design right there. That screams summer. Nothing words here. It screams summer. It screams psychedelia at the beach. You know what I mean? There it is. And that's my body double right there. That's when my body doubles tend to. But yeah, you can get that on your phone. It's all there. And that's in a shirt as well. And there's more coming. So you don't want to miss that, as art is truly the language of love, peace, and understanding, isn't it? Okay, we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm going to welcome back to the stage here, who's just getting back from a luau of his own. Jim, how are you? Okay, we're going to get to yours now. But I did come across, I must say, there's a lot of lookalikes, just to be fair. And it doesn't mean that they're Donald Trump doubles. We have to be fair. Not everything is a conspiratorial act of kindness. In fact, just so you know, these are not Donald Trumps. That's not Donald Trump. Yeah, that might be Melania, but that certainly isn't her husband. No, it's not. And that's not Donald Trump right there. And that's not his advisor. Just so we're clear on that. And even to make matters more poignant here, here's some things we discovered that these are definitely not Donald Trump. Look at this.
Good ones, Dean. Good ones. Here we go.
I'm my whole system's fucked. My whole system's screwed. My whole system's screwed right now. Jim, I'm getting taken down. What the hell's going on here?
You're kidding me. Honest, actual interference.
Yeah, if you wouldn't believe if I told you what's been going on here. But anyways, I don't know what. Sorry, we apologize for that. So yeah, those are not Donald Trump's. Now we're going to get to Jim's presentation here.
Yeah,
take it away, Jim.
Well, State of the Nation really was very concerned because they've been going back and forth looking at old videos of Trump and more recent, and they find there's major differences. It doesn't appear to be the same guy. So I published a blog from State of the Nation on mine at jameshfetzer.org, and then I've added additional photographs sent to me by followers. Now, here's the opening. You can scroll down a bit more, Dean. This is a real Donald J on the left, and here we have a more recent incarnation on the right.
Okay.
And how many differences can you find?
Yeah, a lot of differences, because sometimes he's a little overweight, sometimes he's really in shape, sometimes he's tan, sometimes he's not. So I'll keep going. You just tell me where to go, Jim.
Yeah. Stop there, right? No, go back up. Yeah.
Okay.
Here you have Trump in the 1990s with attached earlobes. In other words, they come down and connect to the ear. But now more recently, he has these pendant earlobes that are not attached. But if you go to the next, it's even more stunning, Dean, because we have what appear to be 3 different versions of Donald Trump. Now, these are, I think, much less debatable than some of the earlier things that we've been looking at. This is the real Donald J on the left. And of course, with his first wife, Ivana. Then we have a second Donald J with Marla Maples. And then we have a third Donald J with Melania. And
look at the eyebrows too, Jim. The eyebrows are very telling. They're like extremely wild, bushy in the first 2. And then they're like normally tamed by the time he meets Melania. It's like, what happened there? Okay, so I'll continue here. But very good observation.
There are a host of photos that now State of the Nation put together. The teeth are also, I think, very telling.
Teeth are very telling.
Michael Douglas, that appears to be the real guy. Keep going.
Is that the real Michael Douglas, or is that a double as well?
No doubt. Okay. No doubt.
I was getting mixed up with Kirk Douglas, so I ask often.
Dad, of course.
Yes, Spartacus. Okay, here's another one. Here's the grumpy owl Trump. Yes. You know, it's weird. Nothing screams Jewish to me about Donald Trump at all, Jim. I mean, it's so weird how he's always being followed around by a bunch of rabbi guys or whatever. You know, it's just I don't get that. But
He does appear to have converted to Judaism in 2017. Now here's that close up on the ears, Dean, that makes us look
and
the difference between it.
Those are his ears.
Attached.
Okay, I got you. Now I'm wondering if mine are attached. Okay, yeah, that is a big difference. I've never noticed before.
Scientists who specialize in human anatomy know that the ears grow with age, but the earlobe one is born with does not change.
That's
Trump's
true.
ears are now noticeably smaller at 73 when they ought to be growing larger. Another key point, relative to his mouth, his ears are located significantly lower on his head today, even though they're smaller. This particular development dynamic is counterintuitive and cannot be easily explained.
Well, to be fair, I mean, when he's standing next to Marco Rubio, I mean, everybody has tiny ears next to Marco Rubio. And Netanyahu, I mean, it's hard to tell. Okay, yeah, but here he has big ears.
Now here's the younger. Yeah, this is a real Donald J, without any doubt.
Interesting. Wild, bushy eyebrows once again. That disappeared somehow, some way. Okay, now
I watched him on Letterman, Dean, and he was so smooth, equally tall. Letterman's 6'3", but he had a wonderful manner, a subdued manner, soft-spoken, very tactful, diplomatic, modest. That's not the guy today. It's the opposite. I mean, he didn't come across as the guy today as a narcissist with a massive ego. When he was on with Letterman, he was actually subdued and witty. I don't see Trump today subdued and witty even remotely.
No,
I see him about different characteristics. It's like
I'm very drugged up,
very articulate, very expressive, using his hands and gestures, as do I. But the Biden in the White House was like a walking cadaver. Never used his hands as gestures, could hardly speak at all. No gesture whatsoever, no affect.
Well, what I noticed too, now that you bring it up, from the 2020 election onward to the next one he participated in, a very low energy Trump compared to 2016. Two different people, just from what I noticed, especially this last election. Here it is. Here's another one here, 2016 election vetting process.
Made it the featured.
Okay, yeah. So
Trump's teeth and nose are significantly different.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my.
Look the mouth. Look at the real Trump has a larger mouth. The guy today seemed to me have a much smaller mouth.
Jim, he's got broken windows on those teeth on the left. Those things are sharp. Look at those Wolverines. And now, can it be said that maybe he got some work done? Is that crazy to think? Okay.
Here's the editor's note. Yeah, look at this.
Okay, here it is. And we'll field questions shortly. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, you got to roll back up just a hair, Dean.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, here we go. This is from the Millennium Report. Fully acknowledges folks who move in the Palm Beach, Florida high society circles are quite likely to have all kinds of cosmetic surgery. However, transforming larger ears that once fanned out and had attached earlobes of what they look like now would have attracted a lot of attention during Trump's extremely high-profile career and incessant public exposure. Surely that type of surgery could not have gone unnoticed by the ever-vigilant paparazzi. Notice, too, Trump in the 80s and 90s would never have talked about obliterating Iran. It's as though his character has changed so profoundly that he really is a totally different persona. Yes, a purposeful combination of psychiatric medications and MK Ultra mind control program can produce a similar effect, but wouldn't that also be an example of a different Donald Trump? occupying the Oval Office. Their conclusion. Now, this is from the Millennium Report.
Yes, here he is.
I can't. There we go. It's entirely true. This is their conclusion, that Donald Trump was either replaced or taken over. About this grim reality, there's no longer any doubt. A highly radioactive backstory to the multi-decade Zionist conspiracies conclusively delineated in the expose that follows. And, you know, it's profoundly disturbing, but I got to tell you, I don't think these are the same guy. And there's now an explanation of what may have happened, that it's plausible in the following respect. If it were true, it would confer a high probability on what we experience today. And if it's not, we don't really seem to have an explanation for these differences.
Jim, why don't we see what our viewers from all over the world are saying right now in this very moment, and try to see what some of the leads they're getting here. Okay. And thank you. We have loads of people just chiming in all over the place here.
Good.
I'm going to start on Rumble here. Okay. We have some people are saying it's a communist plot. Could very well be. We have Kenny59B over there on Rumble saying the insiders say Trump is always heavy protected. You know, I kind of take that too as it kind of goes up there with the we're all in control. You know, we control it all. It's kind of like when a coach says to the team, like in the halftime, although we're losing by 40, but we're going to win it. We're going to, you know, we're in the lead. We have the momentum. So I guess the contrary to that, would anyone say otherwise? But thank you, Kenny, for that. We have Angelina Wolf who's saying his nose is all messed up now from fat. Yeah, could be. That's yeah, I've noticed his nose is all different. You named it. Here we have Blue Sky over there on YouTube. Thank you, Blue Sky. She says about 5 years ago, I saw a video going around where Melania was refusing to hold Trump's hand while walking in public. Fake, or did she not want to hold hands with a body double? I would say she probably wanted to hold hands with the body double, not the real Donald, because hey, you know what? She gets paid to be there. Believe me, I know that.
Yeah, they have a contractual relation. I have no doubt. This is a very convenience, and they're both benefiting from it.
It's just business. Carolyn Shepard, thank you for being here. What if the real Trump got taken out? Okay, what about that, Jim? You want to talk about that now?
Do you have the?
Yeah, this is from 1989.
Look at
Okay.
The Wayback Machine has a report of Donald Trump dying in a helicopter accident or assassination in 1989. And it strongly implies that Ed Koch was really pissed off with the Donald, who'd embarrassed him over ice skating rink in Central Park that the city had been unable to reconstruct, where Trump offered to do it and was ridiculed by the mayor, who then let his sarcastic response that Trump be leaked to the press. But the public sided with the Donald. So here's the idea. I'm not guaranteeing 100%. I'm saying this to me is very plausible. And if it were true, it would confer a high probability of what we're experiencing. 3 Trump doubles worked for the Trump Organization on October 18, 1989. Donald J. was killed in a helicopter crash. And after the crash, the 3 doubles or doppelgangers continued working for the Trump, they're calling it Double Cross Organization. And it had to do in part with business. They felt if Trump were dead, the value of the Trump brand would be substantially diminished, which I have no doubt is correct. Goes on to explain how when the Trump high-rise was developed, he had over on the right side, you see this picture of Central Park, but it was flawed because it was this skating rink that was an eyesore, and Trump wanted to repair it. So he offered to do it. He was going to put up the money. But Koch, there you see on the right, really didn't appreciate it. Coach hated to be embarrassed. He got furious with Trump when the public sided with Donald about redoing the rink, and he was actually celebrated. If you scroll down, you'll see where the rink was. They cut the ribbon for the rink.
But so basically, is it safe to say that the Donald Trump we've been dealing with all these years could have been the fall of the fall Trump, like the fall McCartney?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable, because we forget what James Paul really looked like, which is very, very different from the Paul of today.
Interesting.
In fact, almost anyone. Yeah, I think it's very similar, Dean. I like that comparison, because I think almost anyone today would assume that Donald Trump today is the real guy, and they'd see those images from earlier, and they'd say, "Who in the hell is that?" And
Exactly.
I think there's a very good comparison there, and that's another case that I've studied sufficient to draw firm conclusions about.
I think you're on to something, Jim. That could very well be the case. And finally here, and before we get back to all of these wonderful chimings, this is a rare report that got buried at CNN. We found it.
Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago and joined Chabad Lubavitch synagogue in New York City, according to a high-level White House official. Mr. Goldberg says the story has allegedly been held by CNN's editors for months, but is due to be released within the next few days. David Elias Goldberg, a fellow at the Jewish Center of Anti-Semitic Study, has also interviewed the White House source. According to the source, Trump was pushed by his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner to join the faith. At first, Trump resisted, stating it would threaten his base of evangelical Christian voters. However, he had a change of heart and officially converted in early 2017. The ceremony was held in private and closely guarded for nearly 2 years. Clearly the most pro-Israel president in the history of America. He's given Israel every single thing that they've wanted, and he's about to give them war with Iran. And so has he converted? So I want to show you one more article. This is, let me see if I can.
This is the Times of Israel.
Yeah, the Times of Israel. This was published March 22nd, 2019. This is the Times of Israel. Trump, the first Jewish president of the United States.
Now, that's not us saying that. That's Times of Israel. Times of what nation? Israel.
Yeah, I think that's all totally authentic, Dean. I endorse it. I played the same clip on my show today.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Yeah. And by the way, if you want to read the full article on Jim's website, let me tell you where to go. Some people are asking, go to jameshfetzer.org to see his full discovery there.
It can be all lowercase. You don't need the upper lower. You can just all lowercase words.
Yes, you don't need a it's a wobbly H, but make it lower. Okay, so it could be a combination of a couple of things. You know, I think there's a team of people playing Donald Trump. We have Misty saying that's not Trump. They look like masks. Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? If they could do this too, okay. Let me just put it straight to you. I think that we're under COG still. We're under continuity of government. We're being ran by the military and the intelligence agencies. There could be some kind of, contrast between the two and infighting. And also Israel, which is nothing but a military industrial complex island, just like Hawaii. It's a big cash cow for the military industrial complex. I think that's who's really running the show here. And with all the rubber faces, and it's also a form of devolution to get us into the new financial reset. So that's how I see it. And but Jim, you know what? The caveat is people are sick of the Democrat and Republican Party, and I think it's a big mistake if people go run back to the Democrat Party because they're sick of Trump.
I think if Musk gets behind the idea of his American Party, it could draw big time. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene would be a wonderful candidate. So would be Thomas Massey from Kentucky. They could make a fabulous ticket. And I think a whole lot of Americans, I think 40% or more. And remember, if you got 40% or more supporting one party, that means the other two have to divide 60%. If they split evenly 30-30, that means the new party with 40% or more wins the election. So I think there's a real prospect here for a third party. Musk talked about it. He's got the big bucks it would take to finance it. But I think if he were to move aggressively now, when you got somebody as wonderful as Marjorie Taylor Greene saying she's had enough, I think it could work. I think it could happen, Dean. And I think it would be good for the country.
Call me selfish, call me crazy. I think the future of the ticket of the future is right here. It's right on stage, right, everybody? It's the Fetzer Ryan 2028. Am I right on that? Okay. I think that you're looking at the future right now. Okay. This is a good question. Claudine asked, who is the new Trump now? Do we have any, like, when we used to talk about Biden, Jim, we used to have like generals' names, actors, different kinds of people. Do we have any clue of some of the great thespians of our time who are playing Donald J. Trump today, the character?
I think it's a wonderful question. I haven't the foggiest. I mean, as I'm telling you, it's like with Paul McCartney. More people would think this guy now is the real guy, and the real Paul is non-existent virtually. Most people today are going to think this guy is a real Trump and the actual Trump of the past. And I do believe he probably did die as described there in that helicopter, which the story implies, by the way, was arranged by the mayor in retribution for Trump embarrassing him. He said very disparaging things about the Donald. He had the motive, the means, and the opportunity. Mark my words.
Well, so you might be right, Jim.
I'm very suspicious.
I heard Trump blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed. And that's what might have happened with the airplane there. Here's Brandy. Thank you for being here. Good to see you, Brandy. Looking great as always. I think that's all of Hollywood. Nobody is who they say they are. That's true. That's true. Who would have ever thought John Travolta is extremely bald? Like wickedly bald. Wickedly bald. There's that one. We have Carolyn Shepard saying, eyes are the window to the soul. I would hope so, because be a window to something else. We have braggadocious. We're braggadocious. Here we have Elizabeth Ann over there on Facebook saying, I forget to look at the teeth. I can usually tell just by eye colors and ears. Also,
check
the back of people's elbows.
Check it out.
Elbows as well.
Go to my blog, Elizabeth Ann, and look at the photographs there. I think you'll have enough info to scope it out.
Okay. And also, in the military is running in Gitmo. We're not even sure what the hell is going on in Gitmo. Jeff Sessions, if they're extending Gitmo time and time again, why are they building alligator bowling alleys or whatever they're called? You know, they're for us. I'm telling you.
A lot of this is just PR, Dean. I mean, they do these stupid things just to affect public opinion. So, you know, we've heard stories about execution to Gitmo forever, but I know of none that have actually taken place.
So let me get two more questions, and then we have to get out of here. Okay, here is, and we hope Nigel's feeling good. He just had a procedure done. Hello, Nigel. He says, most of these people you are seeing are no longer with us. They've been taken care of at Gitmo. You know, a lot of people would say that's phooey, but I could for sure say that about Hillary Clinton. That fertilizer rodent has not been on this earth in almost 10 years now. No way. They keep bringing her back, but they use CGI now. So I think you're right into that. Okay.
Very interesting, dude.
Yes. And if this is, Jim, let me ask you this too, kind of in a kind of last corral here. It's catching on. eCash says President Dean Ryan and Jim. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'd be a good VP for Jim. They'd never want to kill him because you don't want me up there. Jim, what do you think about this? This is kind of weird as we kind of sunset the night here. You have on one hand, Candace Owens at least presenting what is, treason with, don't talk bad about Israel, blah, 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 and a favoritism towards a foreign country with Trump. And then on the other hand, you have Tulsi Gabbard and the Trump administration accelerating a treason charge of Clapper, Brennan, and Obama. So it's like a race to the treasonous finish line. Do you think they're really intending to do something with that, or is that just more red meat of distraction, Jim? Because
I do think the case for Russiagate is simply overwhelming. I was all over that at the time. I even wrote a book about it. So, Dean, I think this is being released now because of a distraction. Trump wants to get stuff on everything other than Epstein files, Epstein Gate, Mossad Gate. So he's doing a lot of good things for the wrong reason. That's what's happening. He's doing a lot of good things for the wrong reason, but they're beneficial to the American people. So the more we learn about this, the better that we understand our own history. It's very complicated and messy and quite different from what you would read in conventional history books.
I agree with that, and so does Let Freedom Ring, saying that these Epstein files may be game over for Trump. Hunter Biden says, I think it's game over for the administration, both parties, and the Supreme Court. All those people.
Shattered MAGA. It shattered MAGA. And that Marjorie is saying she's thinking of leaving the Republican Party. Go to the American Party. If Musk is financing it, I believe it will succeed. I'd be glad to join it. I'm fed up with the Republicans. I'm just absolutely disgusted with the Democrats. So I'd be enthusiastic about a third option.
But see what Musk should do is overhaul the Libertarian Party. That's what it's there for. It has ballot access. It's all about ballot access. Green Party.
Very good, Dean. Very good. Great point. Great point.
Yes.
Great
because
point.
Green Party only has
a party that's out there that's got roots.
Ballot
building
access.
it something powerful that it's never been before. I can buy that, Dean.
Jim, when you take it, for the record too, Green Party only has ballot access to 30 states, Libertarians 50 states. But when you get down to the crux of America and what it's all about, it is the libertarian philosophy. Don't do to others that you don't want done to you. Don't a true conservative is don't spend money on foreign shores, spend it here at home, conserve, save, and the liberalism of the meaning is have an open mind, travel and make friendships, and don't get entangled in foreign alignments of war.
I like it, Dean.
Pretty simple,
You're making
Jim.
Persuasive argument. I like it.
That's right. And with your vote for me, come next year, Jim, I will get there. Okay, so Jim, here we go. We're going to do our final thoughts, and we'll start with you, Jim. Your vote today for me, one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. Final thoughts here. Thank you. Final thoughts, Jim, take us home.
Well, Dean, Donald Trump's been under tremendous pressure because of the Epstein files, and it's ironic because he may not have committed all these sex offenses when he said he didn't do it. It might have been some of it was done by the original Donald J., though he appears to me to be a better person morally than the present guy. The problem is he's not terribly competent. I mean, we had this impression of him being a billionaire running those wonderful campaigns and so forth. But he's stumbling. He's creating a lot of blunders. He's not following through his promises. He's destroyed his own base. I'm just worried that he might get us into a war just because he's under so much pressure and he lets it happen out of desperation. I think that's our greatest risk today, and therefore we'd be better off if he were no longer in office. A resignation due to health concerns would be the perfect out. Taking him by the 25th Amendment, if the cabinet were to vote he were no longer qualified, would work. But I don't see him doing it. Impeachment, well, it's a long, tedious process. I'm worried we're going to be at
Jim,
the
I
end
will
of the
say
road.
this though. I will say this though. It could very well be a case that he has been captured and he's leaving us clues to who's behind the power of this country. And that was mentioned a long time ago about Trump in the first term. And look, Mossad doesn't play around. They'll slaughter you, your family, your lineage, their friends. It could very well be his way of leaving little clues of what's happening here because, Jim, we're all coming together. The world is coming together against genocide, against endless wars. And I think that is what's going to heal the country. And you could just feel the consciousness change in this country. Everybody knows. And I haven't felt this kind of a vibration since the days that followed 9/11. Truly, truly. So, okay, we're going to leave it there. I will mention, too, before I forget, too, we have a huge spectacle coming up, speaking of 9/11, with Jim Fetzer, who's going to be in a real deal debate with Richard Gage. You don't want to miss that one. We think it's going to be on the day of September 11th. Yours truly will be moderating. And I'm a strict moderator and referee. That's all I want to say, but I can be bribed for the right price. That's all I know. So, okay, we're going to get out of here, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this incredible presentation of a very controversial matter, but that's what it's all about, to get your mind thinking and not let others think for your mind. That's what it's all about here at the Lounge. So for Jim Fetzer, and for the rest of us here at Real Deal Media, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you for sharing a bit of this night with all of us. Until next time, always remember to stay tuned and stay awake as we try to figure out who's who in this very confusing world. Good night, everybody.